Hey guys, welcome to River Hollow Creations shop. This is the first video that I have done, so hopefully it will turn out okay. What I want to talk about, and really what I work a lot with, is resin and wood mediums, and I turn those. And as you know, resins can be very difficult to turn. They can also be very difficult to mold if you aren't experienced and know what you're doing. So first thing I want to talk about is molds in general. A lot of people purchase molds, a lot of people build their own molds, and what I've found is that a good majority of those people are molding with square molds, including pin blanks. And I think that that creates some problems when you go to initially round your project on the lathe. You're essentially hitting corners, and on resins that can cause chip out and a lot of other things. And I think that I've come up with a better solution. So we'll go through this real quick. Originally, I started out with molds that were square, something like this. Build your own, put your wood in, and then pour your resin in. Again, what I found is that these molds create problems when you start to turn. You got a square piece of material turning on a wood lathe that's going to throw splinters, cracks, potentially just chip out your whole project. So what I found is that because we want it round, why not start out round? So what I found was just a regular PVC pipe. You can go down as small as 3/4 of an inch if you want to, for pin turners. I happen to use a 2-inch primarily when I'm doing bottle stoppers or those kind of projects. So here's how it works. Just a regular PVC pipe. You can get it at any one of the big box stores. You can get it just about anywhere, pretty cheap. Then what you need to do, or what I do, is I take and I seal the bottom of this thing with duct tape, white duct tape, great adhesive. And I find that when you do it right, and what I would normally do is wrap a piece around this edge to secure any leaks that would come up. The other thing it does is it creates an adhesive in the bottom of this thing so that when you put your wood in, it will actually hold it down there and won't float in your resin. So once you slide this piece in here and press it down, it's not going to come out. And so that's a great way to start. Now, one of the key things for these kind of molds, especially in PVC, is a good mold release. There are lots of them on the market. I happen to use a spray-on urethane and styrene silicone. This is made by spray-on. Hopefully you can see that. This is what I use. The alternative that I use a lot is, again, this spray-on adhesive. This is a general purpose, and it works well. And all you have to do is just spray this inside of your mold before you tape it up. If you put it in there after you've taped it up, you've ruined the stick inside that's going to hold your wood product. Unless you make that cork extremely tight, it's still going to leak. So then what I do is I proceed to put these in my pressure pot. And I usually run probably higher than most people. I run about a 70 pounds in my pressure pot, and I let it sit in there until it cures. Now, one of the things that I did with my pressure pot is I built this little contraption, pretty easy to do, and my molds fit inside of here, and then I can put 4 molds in at a time without a bunch of spillage, and they're all held upright and won't fall over during the process. So this works extremely well, easy to make, and so I hope that this video helps you out. I know it certainly has helped me out, and it has increased the speed by which I can get my product finished out the door with fewer chips. The other thing that I want to add is I've heard a lot of people who are warming their resins prior to pouring, because if you're like my shop runs pretty cold. And so my resins take, especially the hardener, gets pretty thick. And I usually use Alumilite for the most part. I have used crystal diamonds. I've used a lot of products. But what I found is that if you try to heat those up too fast or you put it at too much heat, you lose your work time considerably, because these resins are a chemical reaction and they create their own heat. So my advice to you is that, especially with Alumilite, it likes to sit at around 70 degrees, and that's a great working temp for both the hardener and the resin. And so what I do is I just put them upstairs in a closet, or in my house in a closet where I know that that temperature is pretty constant at my living room temperature. And I know that that's at least 70 degrees. So, you know, those are just some ideas for you. I personally would not heat my resins up in any way, shape, or form. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it helps you out. And thanks from me and from River Hollow Creations for watching this video. Thanks.